Hey, good evening. Good evening. Come on in. It's time for Wealthy You Wind Down. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Come on in and in the chat, make sure that you accept the whatever the protocol is for us being able to show your names so that we can highlight you on the screen. Welcome everybody. It's Wealthy You Wind Down. In the chat, let me know where you're from so that I can give you a shout out. I see our Wealthy You ambassadors are in the house. Hello, hello. Evelyn Smith is here. We are so excited to be here. We are coming off of another one of our 5-day challenges. And I'm telling you, it was something. I mean, just the energy that all of you brought every night. Hey, Teeny from Atlanta. That's right. Virginia Rutherford Hall, one of our ambassadors, is here. Michelle Smith, one of our ambassadors, is here. And we're so excited, man. This is the wrap up. Now, funny thing, you notice I am not in my studio. I just happen to be in Miami this evening. But guess what? The show must go on, and I am excited because we have had so many members join the the Wealthy You community. I'm going to be giving some of them some shout outs tonight, and I have some very special guests with me this evening as well, because they're our newest members in the sisterhood, our goal sisters, our 7-figure sisterhood circle. And we are so excited to have you. And so remember, though, this is the night. This is tonight to join the Wealthy You Society. You still have time. And I'm so excited. So let's see who else is joining me in the chat so that I can give you a shout out. Barbara Carter is here. Hello, hello. Selena is here from Greenville, South Carolina. Brina Rollins is here from. Okay, now, Brina, you trying to trip me up because I couldn't understand that. But anyway, I'm so glad you're here. So good evening, everyone. I'm Deborah Owens, and I'm founder and CEO of WealthyU, where we help women of color build their first 7-figure investment portfolios to 7 figures and beyond so that they can achieve financial independence earlier and create a legacy of wealth. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So it is Wealthy You Wind Down, and I would be remiss if I didn't toast all of you. Just because I'm in Miami doesn't mean I can't have a nice glass of red wine. But guess what? Because of COVID, no glasses, plastic cups. But it is a fabulous Napa blend. So a toast to all of you. I'm going to wish I had some of that Fiji water before it's all over. But welcome, welcome, welcome. So cheers. And here's what I want to talk about. So, how many of you in the chat, let me know, how many of you attended our 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge? How many of you in the chat, tell me if you did? Okay, I'm going to give you just a few minutes, because what I want you to know is that many of you have been in, like, how many of you have been in more than one of our challenges? Let me know. Let me know if you have been. Okay, West Palm Beach, Florida. Okay, so I'm right around the corner from you then. So anyhow, so I loved talking to so many of you. You applied to be in the Wealthy You Society. I got to have some wonderful calls from so many of you. And really the reason that I do those calls is because it's very insightful for me to kind of hear what your goals, what your aspirations are, and to let our whole team know if we're on track. And so we learned so much from you, and we also innovate our programs as a result. So, full disclosure, this was the second time that we had an application process, and I really want to talk about that for just a moment. Is the reason that we had you apply is because we have many resources in WealthyU, and what we want to make sure is that you're in the right fit. And so that was what that application process was about. It also gave us an opportunity, gave me an opportunity to connect with many of you, because one of the things I know about this topic of wealth building and investments is that it can be fraught with anxiety and, shame just around not understanding. And so I really want to, talk about two situations that I had over the past 2 weeks, and they were really similar. And, I'm not going to mention any names or anything, but here's the deal. There was one situation where there was a really, really good friend who was about to retire and had got a referral to an investment advisor. And within a couple of months, he was like, red flags were going off. And he was so, so concerned. And the truth is that he ended up in an investment product that he didn't understand, and once he finally did understand it, he was devastated because it really wasn't what he wanted. It had a lot of limitations, and it was going and it had a lot of sales fees. So in the chat, let me know if that experience has ever happened to you. And then this week I had another call. And that call was with someone that more than a year ago, very similar situation. All of her retirement savings had been put into a product that she didn't fully understand. And once she realized what it was, man, it just wasn't a good fit. And so why do I tell you this story? Because in my mind, here's what I'm thinking. Oh man, if we could have just gotten to her sooner, right? Like I'm telling you, if we had just gotten to her sooner, I know things would have been different. I know she would have had the wherewithal and the knowledge to evaluate any kind of investment strategy or product that was being proposed. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? So I tell you these stories because I want you to understand the significance of the work that we do, that it's more than just building wealth or having a lot of money or being rich. This really is about having the knowledge that you can be empowered to not put yourself in financial jeopardy because someone knows they can take advantage of you because they know you don't understand. How many of you guys get this? Like I was working with, I digress, but I was working with one of our marketing people, and she had written up this beautiful sales page. I felt like she just really captured the work that we did. And she called someone, the industry, like vultures. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't say that. That's a little harsh, you know? And then after she does this, these two things happen. And I'm thinking, man, that's exactly what's happening out here, right? Like people are taking us for prey, and they're preying on us because of our lack of knowledge, right? So I want you to understand that that's what the 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge is about. And in fact, we've continued to kind of innovate even on the 5-day challenge and really focus on the areas that we know are causing the widest gaps. Right. So if I wanted to, so just for a minute, I want to just recap for a minute, right? What that 5-day savvy money makeover uh really covered for those 5 days, right? So the first day we looked at your wealth gap, kind of where you're on track, right? And then the next day you looked at, okay, what kind of rate of returns were you earning? I know for so many of you, it may have been the first thing that term was ever conveyed to you, or you even did that exercise for yourself, right? Because if you don't know, you kind of go along, right? And then on the third day, we did the portfolio challenge. And to be honest with you guys, that's like my favorite thing to do because I love how it shows the things that you think are popular or that you think everybody's buying it would be a good investment. They're not necessarily good investments, right? And the fact that you really need to do your research, because that's what we do at Wealthy You. And then on the fourth day, we talked about accelerating your financial growth, right? Uh, Throughout that week, we talked about it was your investment power levers, right? And so, did you guys understand what I wanted you to understand? Is like, so often we're approached with these like cookie cutter plans, right? Like people say, "Oh, well, you just do this and you just do that and you just do this and then everything's going to work out." Well, it depends. People often put me on the spot. Well, what do you think I should do? And it's like, well, first I got to learn a little bit of something about you before I can tell you that. And then this is the other thing that really galls me is when, maybe I make a post on, LinkedIn or on social media and someone says, "Oh, well, they should open up a gift trust or something like that." And I'm like, "Really? That's what we're doing now? You don't know a thing about those people. How do you know what product they should have?" Right? And so my point really is, ladies, that the whole point of the 5 day Savvy Money Makeover was to give you insight into the things that you need to be considering, right? The things that you need to be considering, the things that you need to know. And I know we covered a lot during that. We cover a lot during that week, whether it's a master class or whatever, because I'm really trying to give you more than just fluff. Like, I really want you to apply some things that really make you think and that can really make a difference on your financial future. And so to that end, that's what the 5 day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge was about. And then after, that we had the VIP bonus training. And that's when I invite you to join WealthyU Society, right? Or to join our programs. And many of you did join our programs, and I'm excited. But guess what I know to be true, and especially after talking some of you, is that you need to join. And here's the thing I want to say is that the most important asset of all is time, right? Like, some of you have done a lot of things right, and yet you could be so much further ahead if you had access to the knowledge that you need. And that's what our mission is here at Wealthy You. It's not to sell you products. It's to help you gain insight and get access to the knowledge that we're never exposed to, and to do it in a way that's accessible and that's easily applied in an environment of very supportive people, of like-minded women who are on that same path. And that's the kind of what I call our secret sauce. It's not the content, it's not the ambassadors, it's not the training. It really is the community is the secret sauce. And so it is with that I want you to just to really make an appeal to you. It's like, if you haven't joined, get on in to what you're up to and let us help you accelerate your financial growth and make a difference in your life and the life of your family. The other point I want to make, and I tell the WealthyU ambassadors this all the time, we don't try to do a hard sell. But part of the reason we're so passionate about what we do is because we know we can literally change the financial trajectory of families. We know that. And so what I tell them is just to say it with confidence and unapologetically, because that's what we can do. And so we don't have to be, we don't have to acquiesce on that point, right? We can say it with confidence. the same kind of confidence that you saw in all of the women, because the other secret sauce is the women of Wealthy You, the goal models that you met last week, and we had some powerful goal models. I'm so proud of them, because that really is what brings me joy, seeing the growth of the women in Wealthy You and what they're able to achieve. I mean, when I saw Crystal last week, you don't know, my heart sang, the power that she had, the confidence that she had about the progress that she had made. Absolutely awesome. When I saw our ambassador, Michelle, answer all of your questions, and about brokerage accounts, this and that, and apps and all, I was like, go Michelle. And so, what I want you to know, ladies, is they were all sitting where you were. They were, they were watching. They were, as Virginia Rutherford Hall. And what did you think about Virginia, right? Like, when I see Virginia, it's like, wow, that's amazing, right? From where she's come. And so we are celebrating the ladies, our new members. We always do that. We want to welcome you and make you feel at home. And that's why I'm really excited tonight, because we have ladies who just joining us this evening, and we invited them and they said yes. So they're already in the sister circle, and now they're going to come and just share a little bit about themselves and why they joined Wealthy You. So I want to begin with one of our new members, Felicia Ford Rice, who joined our financial challenge and is now a member of the Wealthy You Society. And I want to just welcome you to our sisterhood, Felicia.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Excellent. So first, and everybody always knows, I always like to know, how did you find out about Wealthy You?
Well, actually, I've been following you for a while on LinkedIn,
Okay.
and I saw your invitation, and I said, "This is the day. I'm going to do it."
Excellent. And so then that lets all of my team know, oh, LinkedIn, that's what we told her she better be doing, like, you don't know.
They were
I am
right.
not the boss of me. Just know that, right? So that is telling me that is working. And so share with us, you saw the invitation, but what inspired you to say, you know what, I'm joining this for me? Why did you join?
Yeah, so for a while now, and this is pre-COVID, one of my goals was to have financial independence and leave a legacy of generational wealth. I have two children, and my husband and I, and I found that I was not as focused as I should have been. There were some investment decisions that I made that I regret, not to the extent of what you described, but letting cash sit in an account and missing out on the stock market. So that's like losing money, as you know, right? So, I could not abide throwing money away like I had done. And I said, I have to get my head in the game, do what I'm purposed to do, and take advantage. And if not now, when?
I love that. I love that. And you make a very good point. I was having this conversation with someone, and it really, here's what I've learned. What I've learned through after starting Wealthy You is that sometimes we're not so focused on not losing, right? That we don't realize that we're not gaining. And so as a result, it's like we're losing money, right? And
Yeah.
so, like, during the challenge, was there anything specifically in the challenge that uh or let me just say, what was the most impactful thing that you learned during the challenge?
I learned that I was not taking advantage of the gains in the stock market and the time value of money because you can't get that time back. You just can't. Um, and I had many years ago in my youth, before I really made any money or had money to invest, I was interested in investment clubs. And I could never interest the people around me in joining me and pooling our money together and investing and learning how to pick stocks. And it just reminded me that this was something I started many, many years ago, and I never completed that task. And this was an opportunity for me to maybe not make up for lost time, but at least take a step in the right direction towards that goal.
I love that. I love that. And I coached a lot of investment clubs, and typically what would happen, because people weren't like-minded and have similar goals and values, they just wouldn't stand the test of time. And so lastly, Felicia, if you could create the perfect outcome, right, from your first 12 months, and I'm going to say first 12 months because, as you can see, many people have been 2, 3, 4, 5 years. What would happen? What would you know that you don't know now?
There's so much that I don't know, Deb. So that's, I call it being unconsciously incompetent. I don't know what I don't know. But I think that I would be able to be more confident in my investment decisions. I would be able to communicate as clearly and beautifully as the ambassadors, and Michelle was certainly a prime example of that. Very confident. I don't know what she was before this, but she's fearless now, and I want to be fearless. I want to be able to convey that, to share that with my family as well as others that I think could benefit from it, and steer them to resources such as yours in this wonderful community. So for me, that community piece is really key. So I'm really
Oh,
looking forward to that, learning
I,
together.
I love that. I love that. And when you say, and I know Michelle is probably laughing because when you say where she was exactly where you are, right? Didn't know what she didn't know. So just know that that's really what this is about. Well, I just want to, say how grateful I am that in a very short time that you just, you not only did you lean in and say, yeah, I'm doing this, but you also said, yeah, I'll come on and I'll share, why I joined. So I really, really appreciate that. Again, I think we just put the link up. If the doors are open until midnight, ladies, all I can say is that your life is will change. And the most important thing that I've learned really from this community is that it's the community itself that is the secret sauce. So, Felicia, don't go anywhere because now I want to bring up another one of our Wealthy You Goal sisters who also joined and is with us this evening. And, we reached out to a few people and she too said, I'll do it. So, welcome to the stage, Natalie Ward. We're so
Hi,
excited.
Deborah. Hi, Felicia.
Yeah, so talk to us. So I'm curious, like, how did you learn about Wealthy You?
So you probably don't remember, but I actually heard you speak at an entrepreneurial conference a couple years ago. And that's probably what lit my fire with respect to you and your knowledge and your approach. So I've followed you over the years and it's been like a hopscotch, and sometimes I catch the Wednesdays and sometimes I catch the challenges. But this year, every birthday, I'm always crying and fussing about two things. I'm too fat and I'm too not enough money, and I'm looking around at, friends and now even younger siblings who they have their investments lined up. They're buying their homes, they're buying rental properties, they're making all the financial moves that I feel I should be making. I've been earning six figures most of the past 15 years. I've had some tragic relationships that cause financial hits, but that's not my current situation. And I really just want that when my 42nd birthday hits this year, I am feeling better And so I took a step with respect to fitness and eating and losing weight, and that's going well. And I just want to be in control of my finances. I'm a single mom. I have two little girls. And, the story you shared early on in the challenge last week about a lot of this knowledge is generational and it's passed down. My parents, are wonderful people, an Episcopalian priest and a librarian. They're from Jamaica. They know nothing of this stuff. And my brother, who has an MBA, he's guided them, and they're in a good position now because of him. He and his wife are in a good position, but they don't really have the time to hold my hand and guide me step through step. So, being that I don't have parents or aunts or uncles that can guide me through that position, it's okay because I have an Auntie Deb. She can teach me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No Uncle Richie, but I got something good. Auntie Barbara is going to teach
I
me.
love that. I love that, Nellie. And let me first say that 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 transparency is why I know you're going to do well. Right? Like
Right.
like one of the things that I've learned in Wealthy You is that the women that go the further the fastest acknowledge what they don't know, right? And you cannot change what you will not acknowledge, right? And so the first step of achieving anything of significance, overcoming any obstacle, really is now acknowledgement that the obstacle is there, because then you can do what it takes to dismantle the obstacle, right? And so I see you're gonna fit right in, Natalie, to our sister circle. So thank you for that. So we met at an entrepreneurs conference. Where was it?
It was outside of Atlanta.
Okay, so it must have been traffic sales and profit
It
or Lamar.
was,
Yeah, and I'm still with
yeah.
that group.
And it was about
Wow.
it was 3 or 4 years ago. I wasn't,
Yeah.
at that time, I was actually living in Miami.
Okay.
And I moved to Atlanta 2 years ago. But regardless of that, I followed you online, over the years. And I think it was I also wasn't at a point where it was like, well, where am I going to find the money to invest in her or her products? But I think you said, last week, you talked about priorities, and I just decided, you know what? I'm going to cancel this, this, and this. Like, I'm going to find the money because it's going to pay me back and my daughters back and my grandchildren back because I'm going to get the knowledge to empower myself.
You said something really, really profound. It's a lesson that I had to learn, as an entrepreneur. And it's that, I would go to all these different conferences and, SBA and SCORE and all these free things, right? Or low cost things. And, that never really allowed me to make an impact. And
Mhm.
it wasn't until I started to actually investing in the people who had the track record of
Right.
taking people like me and having them and accelerating their business growth, right? So
Mhm.
it's the same thing in Wealthy You, right? Like I know for so many people, we're thinking we can pick up that book and that we'll just come to all of the Wealthy You wind downs and we'll figure it out.
No.
And what I didn't realize that it was the system and the process that I needed, right? It was the system, the process, the application, and the people around me seeing them doing it, right? That really allowed me to apply and the more I invested in people, right? So you got team, right? So I've got a great team around me, and they all execute with excellence, and that cost, right? Like you got to invest in those people because then they're going to make the whole thing run
Mhm.
properly. And so I am so, I'm so grateful that you chose you, right? Like you're investing in you, and you're investing in in your family's future, And I guess that's the biggest thing that I learned about the work that we do is that, and the impact that we can make is that it really is intergenerational, and it's caused me to think about the work that we do differently, and really understand the value of it. Like, I think earlier on I thought that, oh, well, I could just, teach people about the stock market. I could teach them how to save more. And it wasn't until I really elevated my thinking about the impact that what we do can make, that I not only elevated the thinking about it, but also elevated the teaching about it. Right now we have, and I love talking in at the higher level, but I know I have to bring people along. And what I basically had to create it, right? Because it didn't exist, because there was there and I didn't realize, I want you guys to get this, I didn't realize how unaccessible this information was to us, even when we reached out for it. And this is when it hit me, guys. So I start WealthyU, I start coaching, and then I'm doing one-on-one coaching, and then one of my members had never been in an investment company before, and it was going to be her first really big investment, and it was almost $30,000. It was 2 years contributions in an S&P IRA. She was self-employed. And so I said, I'm good. I'll meet you in DC. And at that time I had this, I was working at this office space in DC. So I went to DC, I met her down there, going to the office with her. And it's it's tax day, right? So it's like April the 14th. So we go up there, and, there are a lot of people in there. And so I said, so just tell them, I want her to do it, because that's what WealthyU is about. It's not about us doing it. It's about you applying it and doing it. So I said, tell them you want to open S&P. She says, yes, I'd like to open up an S&P IRA. And the lady says, oh, well, what's your social security number? And what? And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm like, you're not going to have somebody sit down with her and, kind of show her what her choices are? Oh, well, that you have to have an appointment for that. And I was like, oh, well, how do you get an appointment? Oh, well, you can go online. And so she was just pushing her back to the website. And so I walked out of that place just dumbfounded. And what I realized after that, this was happening every day. Like every day, a woman, a person of color was going in here and was asking, you're giving them your money. They're going to make money off of this money, right? Mm-hmm. But they're not going to give you the time of day. And then, as I began to think about it, and I had it's why, literally, folks, it's why, I had this one of the first investments I made in coaching for my business, and it was about a strategy and alignment. And she told me, she says, oh, you got to sever your relationship with these investment companies. And I was like, what? I was like, I can't do that. They write very big checks. At that point I was training advisors and, speaking and, a brand ambassador and that sort of thing for some very large companies who will go unnamed. And she looked me dead in the eye and she said, Deborah, you don't believe in what they do. And they are counter to everything that you preach. And so I was like, my head was spinning, right? I was like, oh, she's right. She's right. And I severed all of those relationships and I feel free. And now, it's not that I don't have corporate relationships. It's just now they're not aligned. Right. And so, so that's my long way of saying, when I began to understand the significance of the work and what we had to create. So now it's like, oh, I can't just tell people go here, right? Like you got to already know what you want. And just like Crystal said last week, she was like, I told him no, I'm not closing my line of credit, right? That you've got to know how to evaluate things to the point where you have that power where you can tell people no, right? And really know that you have agency and leverage. So all I want to say to both of you is just thank you for joining. Any closing comment you want to give to the audience just about any closing comments just about the experience and your aspirations or goals?
Felicia, you want to go first?
Sure. I didn't want to talk over anyone. I would say when I joined, I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but it was very welcoming. I felt very comfortable. I felt that this is a group of women who have my best interests at heart. And I love, of course, supporting Black women owned businesses as well. So we can all get wealthy together. So if you don't, I mean, if you have hesitation, push it to the side. We're here to support one another, make each other stronger, and make each other wealthier. So I'd
I
love to be your soror.
Oh, I love it. It's like we can do well, we can do good and do well. I absolutely believe that. I absolutely believe that. And Natalie?
I think for me, Felicia mentioned this when when you were first speaking to her. I've had or felt financially ignorant and incompetent for so long. And, as a person that's got multiple degrees, I've had multiple careers, it's frustrating. It's like, I'm making the money, but I don't know what to do with it. And just my personality, like I am a go-getter. So I really identified with the name that you use, a goal getter. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm a go-getter. When I have a problem, I solve it. When there's a crisis, I solve it. And this is the problem. And there's a solution to solve it. And as far as you and your team, I really just feel like you all are relatable, genuine. One word that you use often is excellence. Um, and to be honest, before I, completed my subscription, my membership form, I looked around like, am I missing anything else? And I was like, no, everyone else that is maybe offering a fraction of what this program offers, they're just so gimmicky and so focused on the optics. And I just don't know that anybody has the experience, the spirit of excellence, the passion, and the genuine heart for this community, which I identify as much as Deb and her team. So I would encourage everyone, who feels like me, financially incompetent, and doesn't have the skill set to find a way, I don't know, cancel your OTF, exercise at home, filter your water, do
Well,
what you need
we
to make
did
it
do, yeah, in the past we have done like a financial makeover. Just really showing people that our is it resources or is it resourcefulness?
go big.
Right? Right? Like I know for so many women that we do everything for everybody. Like if somebody were to call us
Mhm.
up today and say, oh, I can't get into school if I don't have this, right? You'll
Mhm.
be looking at how you can make that happen. And, we are just, like, it's like we will do these things for others, but we won't do it for ourselves. And, I am determined, particularly for women of color, you know, that we have the capacity to give from a full cup, from our overflow, right? But in order for that to happen, we have to learn how to create that overflow, right? Like we
Amen.
so many of us have millions of dollars
Amen.
going through our hands, right? I mean, it's a fact, right? So I'm not saying that we aren't underpaid or that we don't make, but I don't focus on what I can't control, right? I mean, even as a business owner, just some of the hoops you got to go through, with banks, with financing, with these marketing companies. They want to take your money, whether you get a retirement, it's always something. And, or you wake up and your marketing, your email system is down, or Facebook, like yesterday, Facebook, Instagram, you're spending a ton of money on that. Imagine if that had happened last week, right in the middle of a challenge. Do you know what I mean? Like those are the kinds of things that happen. And so what would I have done? I would have went on LinkedIn. I would have went on YouTube. You know what I mean? So the shift, and I want every woman on here to really get this. And it is that you have everything you need to be everything you need to be. That it really, really is a choice of what you decide. And so, ladies, I just want to thank you. I get so excited. The team and I was like, yeah, Felicia joined, Natalie joined, Barbara joined. And by the way, I would be remiss, certainly these lovely ladies are with us right now, but my team sent me some more names, and I want to make sure that I give as many folks as I can a shout out. So I should have had this in front of me. Uh, but of course, I don't. But let me see if I can remember. I want to give Belinda Clarkson a shout out. I want to give Barbara Carter a shout out. I think, team, you're going to have to text me so that I do this correctly. I want to give Carol Adams a shout out. Thank you so much. The team is on me. They're like, okay, she's over there. Many, many more. We will be shouting you out. We will be posting your pictures, welcoming you to the WealthyU community. For those of you who are in the WealthyU Society, your orientation is coming up. However, tomorrow night is strategic advisory. You guys know what strategic advisory is. That's when you have time with me. And so you should have already reached out to one of our lovely team members about strategic advisory. If you are participating, Felicia and Natalie, you'll learn more about that as you get into the system through orientation. They'll take you through all of that. And again, you'll have to midnight to join the WealthyU Society. Come on in. The water's fine. I can't wait till I'm actually interviewing these women during one of our master classes. And in fact, our next master class is on October the 30th. We have an amazing, amazing lineup for you. Headlining master class on the October 30th. I can already say it. We just got 100 of her books. It is Minda Harts, who has written Right Within. It is a play on our How You Gonna Win If You're Not Right Within, an Erykah Badu lyric. I love Minda dearly. Her book, Secure the Seat. We became friends before that book came out. And she's an amazing, amazing young woman. And we've got some other amazing women. The theme is claiming your inheritance, right? Claiming your inheritance. And so in order to do that, ladies, we've got to build it. And so I just want to thank our guests, Felicia Ford Rice and Natalie Ward, for joining us. Welcome to our sisterhood, ladies. I can't wait to welcome all of the new folks who are coming in. That's going to do it for me this evening. Again, I'm Deborah Owens, founder and CEO of WealthyU, where we help women of color build their first investment portfolios to 7 figures and beyond so that they can achieve financial independence earlier and create a legacy of wealth. And with that, good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.